Okay, Ramblers, let's get rambling.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Hi, everybody. Some Dumb Guy here, and I am joined this evening, once again, by buddy, Mr. Lap Kitty. He'll be supervising, making sure things run smoothly because they haven't been lately. Gone back to my first microphone to see if I can solve in a trial run whatever my audio issues are. I don't know. Something to do with my editing software, as far as I can tell, but I just don't know if my mic is related. Film, I edit, I save, and all of a sudden I'm missing sections of audio, and then those missing sections where everything is muted gets placed onto different sections. I don't know why. I don't know how. Every attempt I've made to completely start fresh and re-edit yields the exact same result. And the only thing that had changed was me switching over to a new lapel mic. Although I liked that one better, I didn't have any issues with this one, other than not being able to tell too well when it was actually on because it's a little bitty green light. That's why I upgraded. And it had a little swivel and everything else on the clip. I could see without leaning in that the thing was still lit up and I was still having active power on it. I don't know, but I'm going to go through a process of elimination until I figure this out because the show must go on. Anyway, welcome to episode number 69 of SumDumWatch, my weekly series chronicling what I watch from my physical media home library and theatrical viewings I attend. And we got one this week. So this episode will cover the week of January 19th through January 25th. As per usual, recording is late. First, because I was like, hey, I need to do a little experimenting on this and see if I can get a solid recording done before I actually film a legitimate episode of something. But in all that, I got caught up with RV living stuff, more situational stuff to where my recording studio, whatever you want to call it, my desk area wasn't usable. Finally got that wrapped up tonight. So here I am. I'll go a little backwards this time around, and I'm going to present my theatrical attendance first. This was Wednesday, the 21st, 11:45 episode. This was Wednesday, the 21st, at 11:45 a.m. I don't know if it was Senior Citizen Day at my theater last week or what. You know, I bought my ticket ahead of time, as I tend to do on the Cinemark app. But it was a little bit behind schedule getting in there. They were short-staffed, so the line for concessions ran a little bit long. So by the time I get in there, my auditorium, and it was a smaller one because this movie's at the end of its release run, uh, really small auditorium, but it was maybe 50% full. I was the only person, I swear, under 65 in there, as far as I could see. I don't know what was going on. But I did confirm one thing, and that is that how should we just say, the issue of lack of awareness, lack of courtesy, lack of respect of people around them in a movie theater is not exclusive to the younger generation. I had older ladies to my right conversating throughout, singing songs, hooping and hollering, throwing their hands up. I had another lady off to my left, kept pulling out her cell phone every 10 minutes. Surely these people remember a time where that was just not acceptable. And when all of a sudden it became acceptable for them, I don't know. It never became acceptable to me. I don't do it. Let's roll. I saw, and I wish I'd seen it sooner to be able to recommend it to people. wish I had seen it sooner to be able to recommend it to people. This is, will we focus? My lighting's a little funky this evening. This is Song Sung Blue. I don't typically go in for biopics. I wasn't even entirely sure that this was based on a true story movie. Fortunately, I know nothing about what this was about, the people that it was about, so I didn't have the same kind of usual hang up about accuracies and such, although later found out how inaccurate this film is to some degrees. All that set aside, this is a phenomenal movie. This was absolutely great from start to finish. Emotional roller coaster, like full gamut, pendulum back and forth as far as where you're going, where this movie's going to make you feel if you're a human being with a legitimate beating heart. Hugh Jackman, Kate Hudson, both incredible. I really hope that this rejuvenates Kate Hudson's career, because at this point I think she deserves it, especially when now she might be getting to an age where Hollywood might be just like, She was great. She looked great. Just absolute phenomenon. The chemistry between these two was awesome. Hugh Jackman, he's always reliable. You don't really even have to say it. Just absolutely phenomenal. I did not know that James Belushi was actually in this movie until much later, after I'd already left. When I had seen his character in the film, I confused him with an entirely different actor. I didn't see Jim Belushi. I saw an older version. For those who've seen Lethal Weapon, there's a scene in Lethal Weapon where the main bad guy, General McAllister, big drug runner, is meeting up with a lower level drug distributor who's buying heroin from him. And they have this meeting, very uncomfortable meeting in a club, I guess. Maybe he owns it, I don't know. And I saw this guy as an older version of that drug dealer guy. I mean, just like, okay, this is who you were 40 years ago. I find it was Jim Belushi, and I'm still struggling to reconcile that imagery in my head, because either the poor man hasn't aged too well, not that he was all that, or they just, did a lot of doctoring up to make him look this way, which would be ironic considering they didn't do the same to either the main cast. Continuing on Star Trek Enterprise, based on complete series box sets, Blu-ray. I'm probably about halfway through season 1. My only real complaint about the film, and as always, is having a great time with this one. I don't think I'll ever get tired. I learned later that, I'm sure I've said it many times, events of the story, viewers I might have, I probably rewatched in real life would have occurred some. Of course, now that I'm doing 25, 26 years, it's a little bit awkward, because it's like I don't want to just every year just keep in the movie 2 years. I don't know. Just like an optimistic future, right? I mean, holy I realized my light was off. And I had a lot of trouble even trying to figure out how much time was passing years in the film. Presenting this show, there were only a couple of cues to let you know, and I every year equally struggled. I couldn't tell what time period the film was taking place in rotation, because there was a lot of conflict. I have begun and work around the real life preparing to get things should have ended in 2006 and everything else set back up in my living room. It appeared that it had started. I was watching my Some Dumb RV in the early 80s series, but again, began seeing very clearly by the end of it documented small progress was a 2-year-long stretch also story. So that will be documented. I didn't see any evidence of further along on modernity in this film. I think tomorrow from FedEx I'm getting delivered yet another media shelf. Even post 2000, because I still want more room. I didn't see expand my library. Vehicles, and right now I've got things, cell phones. They're in place. Anything whatsoever, everything with to lead me to believe a little bit of room for expansion. Even reached into the 90s, and I had a random bout of inspiration about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and I started processing it in my head as I'm watching it around like a loving ping pong ball in the head. Just at the same time, I had confused, like. And then how much time has passed? An idea of where I wanted to go. When does this occur? Let's search out what product time happens. Let's take a suitable end game result from that. Just a couple little things. And the means for that will arrive tomorrow. So I'll be recording after the fact. Some Dumb RV Living to address that. Assuming it just reinforcing why I have so much issue with watching biopics as a whole. Anyway, rambling. Could not highly recommend this movie enough. This is it. 2 thumbs up. Highest possible recommendations for this week. What have you yourselves watched? I guess I caught it home libraries before it left the theater. Word box it locally for me. Theater at all this past week? What you see? I just wish I could recommend it to say, hey, word box it. Let me know. All 2 of you that watch, say hi to high end or buy to Buddy the
Now
Lap
we're
Kitty
gonna
here.
get something
He's still
that's not
snugly
so
warm
great.
on your way out. And
Rolling on the physicals.
assuming everything goes well here, I've got another unboxing video
This
to film,
is
so that will be next up after
League
editing and
of
posting. And
Extraordinary
cross
Crap.
fingers. I'm hoping when you're watching this that everything is sounding good.
I had seen this when it was new,
Until next time,
and
thank
I
you for
thought
watching.
it was a
Joining me and
creative
participating.
tale.
And I'm going to make like a treat.
If not
get out of here.
overly well done, at least guilty pleasure level. And I never saw it again. And for reasons, it started coming